healthy, robust economy 1 year into his second term. Meanwhile, Trump is facing new hurdles as he faces off against Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell in his push for lower interest rates. Joining me now, we have Justin Wolfers, professor of economics and public policy at the University of Michigan. Good to see you again, Justin. So let's start here with those new numbers, indicating a majority of Americans disapprove of Trump's handling of the economy, but Trump keeps pushing his message of economic strength. Take a listen.
Under our administration, growth is exploding, productivity is soaring, investment is booming, incomes are rising. Inflation is defeated. America is respected again like never before. And other than that, we're not doing that well.
Is all that true?
Very hard for me to keep track in my head right now, Alex, but I think I counted 6 lies just as you played it just then. America's respect around the world is actually lower than it's been in decades. Inflation's not defeated. He said incomes are exploding. They are actually up. Inflation, I think he said he'd gotten that. What else did he say in there?
He said growth is exploding. Okay, growth is exploding. Okay, that's a no. False. Productivity is soaring.
False.
Okay. Investment is booming.
No.
Okay. Incomes are rising.
A little bit.
Okay. Inflation is defeated.
No.
Okay, and you already went over Americans being respected again like never before. No. So new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows grocery prices, in fact, rose 2.4% in the last 12 months. And also it shows that Donald Trump is starting to try to push banks to cap credit card interest rates. Is he starting to feel the pressure?
He's feeling the pressure in what he says. And it's really important here, Alex, to draw a distinction between what he says and what he does. So what does he say? He says he's going to put a 10% cap on interest rates. You know what he hasn't done? Put a 10% cap on credit card interest rates. There's all sorts of things that come out of the man's mouth. But if you want to think about the serious economic achievements, it's been tax cuts for the rich. It's been cutting government services and particularly payments that particularly target working and middle-class Americans. It's been a tax on healthcare, and it's been tariffs. And tariffs take a bigger chunk out of the paycheck of ordinary Americans than they do the very wealthy. That's what he does. What he's learned to do, though, is speak this populist thing where he announces a new policy every day, and then you have to have me on, and I have to tell you whether it's a good or a bad idea. Often it's a bad idea. Sometimes it's a popular idea. We end up talking about what he's talking about rather than talking about what he's doing.
Ah, yeah. Well, in fact, since Liberation Day back in April, Trump promised that tariffs would bring the factories and the jobs roaring back to the U.S. But manufacturing employment, that's been on a steady decline each month. In fact, as small companies are struggling to manage the rising costs. So where are the jobs that Trump promised? And will we maybe, Justin, see them this year?
Look, this is just a mistake in economic theory. This is someone who I think struggled in his introductory economics class. But I want to give folks at home a very simple way of thinking about it. Realize that a lot of tariffs are tariffs actually on inputs into American production. For instance, Trump put enormous tariffs on steel. That's a little bit like putting tariffs on flour and asking what do you think is going to happen to bakeries. Steel, yes, we do have a small steel industry. A few more people will be employed in steel. But steel is used throughout the rest of the U.S. economy. And what that means is that Americans and only Americans have to pay more for their steel as part of their input into their productive processes. A lot of manufacturing uses a lot of steel. Trump has put us at an enormous disadvantage relative to foreign competitors. And that's part of the story of what's going on there, that manufacturing employment just keeps shrinking.